Welcome to Block Party. I'm your host, Mike Wahle. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying, hit that subscribe button, like, rate, and review us. We are now on the Pack a Day podcast, Andy Herman's station as well. So thank you to those guys for putting me on. Listen, this game, we'll get to the tape really fast here. I don't have a lot of Bengals. I don't have Bengals defense. The defensive tape, for whatever reason, was a little screwy on my machine. So I'm just going to give you a quick breakdown. Like, Green Bay allowed them 3 plays in the first quarter. While we only had 1 sack by Lucas Van Ness on Orlando Brown, if you watched our Orlando Brown Jr., if you watched our pregame show, by the way, did you know his dad was nicknamed Zeus? Unbelievable. Anyways, if you watched our pregame show, kind of said he was going to give up 1 or 2 of those this week just because he gets off the ball so late sometimes, blah, 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 blah. But they did a good job of getting in Flacco's face, making him get rid of the ball early, particularly in the first half. Look, at some point, when you're playing against a Joe Flacco who knows how to throw the football, has been around the block, understands defenses, and you've got a guy like Jamar Chase who is like, if he's not the best receiver in the league, he's top 2, top 3. I mean, he's unbelievable. I mean, that George Pickens guy kind of comes into mind after the last 2 weeks, but like, oh my God, this guy's good. Like, they're going to hook up for some things. So Chase has 10 for 94 and a touchdown. But they're going to make some plays. Like, Flacco was throwing the ball before his breaks, and they haven't even practiced together but like 2 days. So like, that stuff happens. The reality is they scored 18 points, right? They averaged 17. They scored 18 with a better quarterback. That's a great job by the defense. Offensively, it's always like, we're scoring 27 points. And it's like, yeah, but the Bengals give up over 30. So is that really good, right? And there's a lot of things in this that are fantastic. Jordan Love plays another great game. The way he eludes pressure and gets himself out of bad positions. The way that Matt LaFleur, after the first series, and seeing that like our line and our traditional run blocking game, our traditional pass block, just wasn't vibing with what the Bengals were trying to do. Did a really good job, I think, over the course of the game, particularly in the next 2 series of whether it was the bubbles, the short game, the jet sweeps, the orbit motions, just trying to get, trying to still mix in a little bit of traditional run game, trying to get a little bit of drop back pass. But Jordan Love was running for his life for a while, but just trying to figure out how to get key skilled players the ball in space without having to do like the traditional stuff. And then as the game went on, sprinkling it back in. Certainly there were some good run plays at the end. Josh Jacobs ends up with not quite 100 yards, but I think he averages over 4.2, something like that, yards per carry, which is, not great, but you really didn't see that number over 5, quite frankly, in this day and age with the National Football League playing the way they do. There's like 6-man boxes, 5-man boxes on this tape, but we're going to get to the tape. It's going to be all offense today. We'll circle back after this. Enjoy the film. All right, guys, we're going to start here. I hope like hell you can listen to my dog. I got a new puppy, Big Pun. And Big Pun's snoring on the couch right now like a boss. Like he's laid out on his back. Like he's just got nothing to lose. So if it comes in the background, it's fantastic. So really after the first series, there's some adjustments made by Matt LaFleur as far as play calling and kind of what the expectations were. Of course, they tried to keep running. They tried to keep using traditional runs, and they did have drop back passes. But you just see the way that he was able to call this game to score and start moving the football in an effective manner, trying to keep Jordan Love out of harm's way and just getting some non-traditional running yards because of kind of the struggles they were having on the ground early. But let's start. I think this is the second play of the game. We'll go motion and just, under center, my favorite look. And, the hard part with these plays sometimes is like, you get here and you go, okay, just from a numbers standpoint, I think I got this figured out. I want to go double to here. I want to go double to here. Tough block on the backside. We're going to go take kind of this angle, and this turns into like a 1 cut or a 1 cut. Or a 1 cut, right? And 2 things happen on this play. The first is, and Aaron Banks steps underneath himself with his foot, so he's a little short on this. And Aaron's what an upgrade. Honestly, you can see that versus the last couple of weeks when he's been hurt. This is certainly a much more physical player. But what really happens here is they decide to send Rasheed Walker out to help the tight end. Maybe it's because it's maybe because we got Hendrickson over here early in the game. I'm not sure, but they basically can't block this guy if he stays inside. So we take poor landmark and leverage on the 3 tech, and then we don't help him with the tackle, and so and Banks is running off the ball, man. Like you can't fault his hips, can't fault anything. He's just the landmark's bad because of the first step. but it forces that right there. And then as soon as he has to cut back, Forty's just sitting there waiting for him. We got a 3rd and 7. He goes empty. So you got options here. It's like how are they gonna play this for the course of the game, really? They're running man up top. They're running really. It looks like they're running 2 or some form of 2 on the bottom here. Josh Jacobs is like, what? I'm open. I don't know if that looks. I think that's the linebacker. I don't know what he's doing. But listen, they're running crossers here. So the crossers take a little bit of time. They go 3-man rush, so they drop 8, makes it more difficult, and they got the defensive tackle sitting where that crosser should be. Talking about 99 here. He ends up bailing out, right, as does 27, goes back and plays his safety position. 91 and 58 both get pressure from against our tackles. And this is first of many plays where Jordan steps up and starts making things happen. This is early in the game, puts his foot in the ground and gets the first down on a key, what turns out to be, I guess a wasted drive, but sign of things to come. This play is just a head scratcher from a timing standpoint. You see that they're trying to run a counter or power, whatever you want to call it, but there's a couple things going on here. So first off, I love the return motion, but you don't get the momentum that you need. I mean, you're trying to block here. You're going to get this good kind of double. You got to block back, and you're either going to kick out or lead up, right? Because the tight end's first, you think he's got to go through. Maybe he's going to the safety, or he's going up to the linebacker, and then Jordan Morgan's got to take the other person. And so the first part of the problem is obviously 86 is like right now you're screwed. You're standing with your feet square, and you got nowhere. You haven't decided to hit anybody, so you screwed up Jordan Morgan. The other part of that, I don't like this play, and it's not a Packer play. It's a football play now. But this is an A gap counter or power, so they're going downhill, and they're basically the center used to get beat across the top. It was the easiest way to kind of combat the power. So what they did is they started running this downhill, so you could kick it out the backside. You could play A gap, you could go B gap, but if it was a really good double. Instead of taking this play across, God darn it. Instead of taking this play across like this and being able to go here or here or here, like you would see like Ahman Green used to do. So the problem with it is now if you run A gap and you get this good double, Elton Jenkins isn't like, he's just position blocking on the backside. And we talked about this against the Lions as in our pregame matchup thing. We were showing the Lions versus the Bengals and how the backside of the Lions, they weren't satisfied with position blocking. They were actually trying to drive their guys out of the way. And this is one of the reasons that we talk about it, because, that guy ends up making a play on something where, back in the day, first of all, the center would never have that problem on a hinge that's, 50-50. But because we're not really trying to expand that hole, it just gives our guy an opportunity to make a football play. 2nd and 7, got motion to 2x2, tight end attached under center. Again, one of my favorite formations. They bring him across, and this is kind of why I like. It's easier to see from here, maybe. This is kind of why I like these formations. When you're under center and they're balanced, then you can kind of tell, like, okay, the safety's got to come down. Makes it easy, easier read for the line at least. So we're going to run a little cross dog here. Jordan Morgan does a good job getting enough of them. We're running double, duo, double, whatever you want to call it. 2 double teams to the linebackers. And just end up getting enough of them to slide ahead for a nice 5-yard gain. Doesn't have to be, not always pretty. 1st and 10. Bunch. And this is, just kind of a standard West Coast offense play over here where you got the, if I can get it up, you got the out of the corner. You got the flat, you got the 5-yard stop. And so his eyes are going to go over there. Talking about Jordan Love. Kind of gets quick pressure from Hendrickson with a good bull. Hendrickson's a good player, man. We were fortunate that he hurt his back, to be honest with you. Nice post out here by Tucker Kraft, huh? A little basketball. Love it. It's a foul. 2nd and 3. Got the hipped off tight end. Golden in motion. And this is another one of those plays where it just doesn't the math don't math right. First of all, it's hard to play against this. Playing against those 2 techs is difficult. If you play against a 2 tech, the thing that makes it difficult is the guard, like Jordan Morgan right here, is going to go like, do I want to go step and through up here and go through this guy to the linebacker? Or am I going to take this foot and move it basically over here laterally and just get pushed down the line? And sometimes you get pushed down the line, and that's what happens right now. And because of it, now you've got this big gap. Oh, Mike, that is unprofessional. Let's try that again. Now you got this big gap here between your center and your guard. He's just going to get pushed off. So Josh Jacobs has to bounce it. Not play designed. Come back. That series ends in the pick. He gets flushed again. Probably not a throw he wants to make. Come back. We got quick toss or quick, pitch and catch on a 5-yard hitch. Ends up getting a little bit more. But this is a great job by Matt LaFleur of like, okay, we're not getting a lot of yards in the run game. He's been pressured 3 out of 3, 3 passes, 3 pressures or something like that. So let's see what else we can get done here. This play, yes, it's a run play. This is like the old kick play. And what I love about this play, and you can kind of see this in the game every time Wicks kind of starts sneaking in, it's this play. What I love about this, and I'll show it from the end zone, is it really, it kind of removes your line and maybe more to the point, their D-line out of the equation. Like these are all just turning into backside blocks now. These are all just backside. Like the only guy who's got a really tough-ass block is your best player, Zach Tom. And then we're just going here, and you got Wicks coming in and, blocking the safety. But this play, he's taking a step and he's going out and he's just going to bounce this back. And that's the basic play design. There'll be another one later on we'll show where they're actually, it looks like a complete elephants right or left. See all these guys over here. These all just end up into, whatever blocks. But these tight ends, wide receivers do the work against these smaller players. But really it just affects the flow of the linebackers because they're used to in this position. Usually when you see this, it's like, this guy's coming across here, and they're going to go down. Aiming point's going to be the guard, inside hip of the guard or something like that. Where this one's like, nope, I'm going straight downhill, and everybody else is moving this way. So you see a lot of this in the National Football League now. I think they're effective because it's another thing where you can't key if you're a linebacker. You got to hold true. Good job by both our tight ends there, by the way. There's a little 2nd and 3 here. Really just a dirty bunch. They go motion across to a 2x2, and then they give, and this is what we're talking about, like we throw a little swing past the goal, and boy, he's fun to watch. Look how fast he is, man. What a mover. Kudos to Matt LaFleur to continue to try to run this football. But it's kind of same play, different person. And we have, you have 5-man box, you have what you want here, but I just don't know enough about how they run offense now, to be fair. Because, maybe they're telling Elgton Jenkins, completely avoid the nose tackle, put him in a place where we have to, we've got, 3 guys trying to wall off, and we'll just try to get a good block here and then cut this, go here and then cut this back. I just don't, honestly, I don't know. Because otherwise, I don't know why you would cross over here. And it's not like he's the only one doing it. We've seen 2 other examples, so maybe that's just how they want to play ball. I don't know. I do not know. But I'll tell you one thing I do know is it's if that's what they're being asked to do, it's really hard if the back is offset to run outside the guard on the opposite side. It's a hard ask at that angle. Usually if that's the case, you got your back coming literally coming down literally coming down the line here, not coming at this angle where he can, he's got to cut up, cut out, whatever. Or if he's coming like this and we get that push out, then he just kicks it. But, I'm just a firm believer in you've got a double team here. This is a double team, use it, but what do I know? Dun, 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 dun. All right, 2nd and 9. So now we go motion across, quick throw, and we let first rounder just zip zoom. I just like watching him run, man. He's just smooth. There's like Chase on the other side. There's just some guys just move better than everybody else. So safety's sitting there in the hole, just kind of waiting for this to make the tackle, and then he misses, and then it's guy's fast, man. I'd like to be fast for like one day, God, I'd like rob a bank or something.
What's up, everybody? It is time to get our sleeper picks in for Thursday night football, week 7 already. We've got Steelers and a team that Green Bay is very familiar with, the Cincinnati Bengals from this past week. I'm keeping this one extremely simple. I'm going DK Metcalf and Jamar Chase, and we're just going touchdowns here. I'm going DK Metcalf to score a touchdown, more than 1/2 touchdown in this game, and I'm going Jamar Chase not to score a touchdown in this game against Pittsburgh, less than 1/2 touchdown. And here's the thing. I think Pittsburgh is going to be ultra focused on making sure that Jamar Chase does not get going in this game on Thursday Night Football. I know it's easier said than done, but I think they're going to make sure that Jamar Chase is not the one that beats them, especially after Chase's impressive performance against Green Bay this past week. As for DK Metcalf, I just do not trust Cincinnati's secondary to hold DK Metcalf in check, and I do think he ends up in the end zone at some point in this game. So pretty simple. DK Metcalf touchdown, Jamar Chase no touchdown. The best part is that you can get a 100% match up to $100 by utilizing code PACKETDAY. Yes, 100% match up to $100 by utilizing code PACKETDAY. And how about this? How about a $20 entry with no deposit needed? You can check that out over at Sleeper as well. Now, terms and conditions do apply, so you can check those out over at Sleeper. And of course, Sleeper is available in over 25 states nationwide. If you haven't checked it out yet, what are you waiting for? Get after it with Sleeper. You're not going to want to miss it. Enjoy week 7, starting with Thursday Night Football in Sleeper right now.
Under center, hipped off tight end, go jet sweep. Again, just a great job with Matt LaFleur. We got these quick passes. Now we're not getting a lot in the run game, so he goes, okay, I'll give the jet here. I think the next play he gives it to Trayvon Williams. I'm going the other way. Just finding ways to create opportunities for skill guys to get the ball in space. So now we go motion across. We're in a passing situation, and he makes chicken salad out of chicken shit. And he's got kind of the same route both sides here. The hitch up, got the corner, same. Got the corner, he probably, I don't know if he's deciding this pre-snap just based on the locale of this guy or this guy. But he chooses to the right. If he chooses to the left, he's probably throwing that ball to Tucker Kraft. Ends up, making something happen, getting in a better position for the field goal. But you just see the drop back, the traditional run game is just not quite where it needs to be. And look, 91's like, he's a dude, man. Just 91, just if you're just like watching pass rush, you see all these, like, everyone's got cool moves and stuff. It's like, oh, cool. Well, okay. You know what's cool about this guy? Like, he just puts his hand on your chest, and then he just takes this arm, and he's going to grab that wrist. And he's just going to work that wrist off and just make you weak. Because now you're worried about getting that wrist pulled off, and now he just stabs you with that left hand, puts you right in the quarterback's, back. It's good, man. Simple. That's what we always talk about, actually. I'm going to go back and just harp on it for a little bit longer. We've been talking about it for years with some of the Green Bay Packer guys, and like, this to me is a much more difficult situation where you get collapsed on versus going over the top. You see all their guys are like right here. Now Jordan Love makes a great play here, but not a lot of quarterbacks are making this play. And you just love the idea of collapsing the pocket versus playing over the top. All right, 1st and 10. Back in the 12 personnel, got that 34 look that we wanted. And we got, set for success here. And they're really just now they're just in a true like under defense. And so if you're in an under and you have, again, this is kind of film study stuff, but you just start looking at his stance and why he tightened down a little bit. Right here. So we got to be aware. There's got to be some great communication. And Jordan Morgan does a great job here of getting on the guy, but it's a two-step process, right? Okay, step one, he cuts inside. We end up taking that fantastic step. Elgton Jenkins comes over. Either we have to communicate this so Elgton Jenkins can just come off right now, and we need to double, because this side still has to get blocked. Like that's, the big thing here is even if we spike the 3-tech and you catch it, we still got to move him off the spot. Just catching him is not, quite what you want yet. And part of this is just we don't have the communication. I know, Aaron Banks misses on the backside here, but, quite frankly, we're probably okay if we just get a little more here with the right guard in the center. And for whatever reason, whether it's, the new positions, whether it's the communication, whether it's the pad level by our center, it's just not getting the movement there at the point of attack. Look at this. Is this 13 personnel? Oh. Got your 3-4 look. It's evened up, under center. It's just awesome. But, like, the cool thing about football is if you just take away all the scheming and all the, whatever's going on in people's lives, like, do you take the right footwork or not? It's so great about this, man. Like, if you don't go anywhere with this step, this play is not going to work. It's easy. It's easy. You see look at the difference between this and this. And part of it is like, again, I don't know because we're going back here, we got left tackle, left guard going here. We got center, right guard going here. Really the difficult block here, double team back here, one-on-one here, right? But you got what you want. Now, you didn't get the vertical push here that you want, but you go back and it's like, I don't know. Jenkins is crossing over going horizontal, so he's automatically going to get, he's kind of going to get pushed. You can't help but just kind of getting pushed this direction. I think I actually have an arrow here. This direction, and now you're chasing because you stepped underneath yourself with your first step, and so it's like you're going to drive this guy this way. That's what's going to happen, and whether or not he gets in on the play or he slows the play down, like that's at this point, because of the footwork, that's the only option you have. You can get a couple yards and fight and scrum and everything, but that's how the play goes. 3rd and 2. So we saw this play in a similar fashion last week where they're going to clear out. They could run this. It's like a bang 8 or a glance. I'm not sure. But really, they've got 2 guys over here. They got a guy to hold the screen and a guy to catch it. Right? And so this is like a glorified check down with a blocker. And the problem is, he shouldn't have caught this ball. You just let the ball go. But you look at it, we've got an evened up pass rush. It looks like we call this like a 5-0 call where everyone's gonna man up. And you look at the right guard, right tackle, we drop 44. And right here, this is simple. You guys are on the same team. So if you want the right guard to go help the center, then the tackle's got to make a go call. Because if he doesn't make a go call, then that means that he's not ready for you to leave. And if that happens, like Zach Tom gets like horizontal here when he gets kind of, that's insane. That's some matrix shit. That's just communication though. That's just part of, again, winning these football games. However you win them is fantastic right now because you learn a lot of this stuff. You got the quick toss, man, this is tough. And you're putting, this play is just like a toss, a zone, however you want to call from a blocking standpoint. You're going back, you're going through, you got here. This is all your bang da da da. Now it would be a lot easier, or there's another way to run it, I should say, where you go here, kick out, or you go here, down and around. But for this one, this specific kind of play to work, your right guard's got to win with that first step, because this guy's running like a wide three and he's a squared up stance. So like you got to get your leverage is out here, like not your leverage, your landmark is out here. Because if you don't get there, you're gonna put your running back in a tough spot. And he steps underneath himself. That guy's already playing out, so you got a tough break here. Josh has to come back in, ends up kind of not the best. Now this is on Jordan Love. Now this play is hilarious because this happens all the time. It's like this guy ends up making the play after running all the way around here. And the reason is because these guys are not ready. Like, it's one thing if the defense isn't ready in a pass play, but in run, like, we got to know where the hell we're going. So, like Aaron Banks has got he's just like fistful of enthusiasm here, but nobody blocks 44. Like Elton Jenkins realizes that this guy's going back, so he blocks back. These guys are fighting each other, and it's like, maybe it's just let him line up, man. I'd rather at least who to block and how to block them. I can't tell you how many times that happens in the NFL, man. It's like we're trying to rush it up, and it's like, oh shoot. It's like, who's on first? What a ball this is. One thing I want to say about this is, Golden's a rookie, and guys aren't usually this good at it so early. But so the ball's gone right now, okay. And generally, in the NFL practice fields, there's this red line they paint like 10 yards off the sideline that you're supposed to hold because you want to give yourself all this space to be able to fade into it so you can throw over the back shoulder. So the defensive back can't make the play. And he does that almost perfectly. Look how fast he is, man. God, that's a good play. What a throw. What a throw. All right, we got trips. Empty. Another big play here. So they're clearing everybody out. Clear out, and then coming across here, and he can probably sit this down and keep going depending on how they play it. So they can hit him early, or if Jordan Love wants to sit here and wait for the seam because they got a single safety high here, so they're gonna have some opportunities here on the either the seam routes, probably the seam routes. Looks like up top is that Dobbs, and on the seam up top might be him, but Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love make a fantastic play here. Get down. God, Josh Jacobs is good, man. What a play, though. This is a Jordan Love thing. He's just starting to make those kind of plays a lot, whether it's out of necessity or not. Now, I put this play in here to just show you that why Zach Tom's so good. This is just a 2-yard run, right? Watch him block him. Now, this is the goal line. Nobody's on him, and we got everybody else double team. Single block out, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. This block right here is hard, man. He's got to take good footwork. He's got to have great play speed. He's got to get his helmet across and just try to run him into the next guy. And, man, he does a fantastic job. That's a really, really hard block. It's a fantastic job by Zach. That's why you get paid the big bucks. There's a couple more in this that'll show that are, he's a real deal. Seam route's fantastic. They play cover 2 here on this side, so that defensive back at the top of the screen's got to widen. Jordan brings it back in, middle field open, fantastic. Oh, go back on this and just appreciate, watch the footwork here by Jordan Love. Bang, go. Fake, step, bang, go. No hitch, no nothing. Just timing, man. Beauty. You had a lot of reps to get that right. 1st and 10. Okay, they bring Josh Jacobs back in. This is Zach Tom, and that's just him doing his job better than the other guy. This is the same play different kind of look. But you'll see it now even more than the last time. Like all of these guys. Come on, Mike. Get it. Trying. There we go. These guys are basically just blocking out. Like we're gonna actually just run down the sideline here, and we just got a block here. Great block here by is that Tucker. Kick out. But this is fantastic job by Zach Tom of just winning an inside leverage player. Drive. And Josh Jacobs just, again, it's a downhill play right here. He's at both A gaps. And you see they're not even trying to get to 55. Talking about Jordan Morgan and Elgin Jenkins. They're like, Jenkins is almost just like stopping, pivoting like it's like some kind of like keeper pass or something. That's fantastic. And then this is, I think, the last play I have on here. I'd like to end it off with good stuff. 2 doubles, linebackers. I mean, this is why the Bengals are like 30th in defense, man. I couldn't even. You're rooting for. It's like you're rooting for teams, and you're also like, what? What are we doing here? So they got a 3 tech and a 2-eye. Both linebackers are outside the stack. They play the stack outside. And Dobbs and we're in position to block these guys. You don't even need to because you just got one of the better running backs in the league, a 15-yard head start to run right down your face. So, look, you score 27 points on a team that gives up more than 30, and you watch the game, it's kind of up and down. But the reality is, it's another win, and you're learning a bunch of stuff. You're getting guys reps. I mean, the big thing is just getting reps and understanding what your identity is, and I think they'll continue to do that. Josh Jacobs, we didn't have a 100-yard rusher, but we did have over 100 yards rushing. I think he averaged like 4.2, 4.3, something like that. And there wasn't just like a 50-yard run that took all of it. It's a grinded out deal. And the good news about this game, I talked about it on Sunday, is like this felt in the first half, it felt like a scrimmage because the defense was playing so well that you're just, it's like, okay, we didn't score this time. We have to go back out and try again. Like there was no consequence, right? And what was interesting was when there was consequences and the Bengals did start scoring, the Packers answered, and that's all stuff that winning teams do, and the reason why they're a good football team. So carry on. So like you see, there's a lot of good, and I said it on the tape. Like it comes down to, we can talk about schemes and this and that, but it's like, is your footwork right? And that's why I love this sport. And that's why, I love sports in general. It's like, if you take away all the nonsense and, what plays we're calling, who's mad at who, what locker room drama we got. It's like, is your footwork right or not? If your footwork's right, you're going to win a lot. If your footwork's wrong, as we show on the tape, life gets a lot harder. And all of that is controllable by the individual. And so sometimes we're focusing on putting the guys in the right position and making sure that we're winning on scheme and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, man, that's super important. But there's 2 things. It's like put your players in a position to be successful, give them the tools to find success. Sometimes, and more often than not, that last one is the one kind of where we hold ourselves back. And I think as the Packers continue to develop, particularly up front on offense, you're going to see that more and more and more of we're going to get those double teams to actually get something with get some vertical movement off the ball or cover that guy up or not have these huge gaps in the space, right? And when we do that, you're going to see Josh Jacobs break off even more yards because he's such a special running back. You're going to see Jordan Love with more time in the pocket to make some throws. I mean, he made some incredible throws over the course of this game. He continues to impress, only going to get better with time. Again, I'm just so impressed always with Matt LaFleur and the way he calls plays and puts guys in positions to be successful, and then really, effectively helps remove kind of some of the issues in the middle of the game. Like after a series or two, he's able to kind of remove some issues or at least skirt them to the side and find new ways to find yardage. So fantastic. We'll see you next week, or I'm sure I'll do a preview show. Again, big thanks to Pack a Day Podcast. Thanks for having me on. You can find this also at the Process to Perform channel, guys. Next time, see you.